Hi guys! I'm in the kitchen right now because I'm gonna do something a little different today. You've never really seen me do or make anything, so I thought today would be a good day to do that. And I'm gonna make some chocolate chip cookies. Now, who doesn't love chocolate chip cookies? So I figured something nice and simple. I will say I didn't make this. I didn't create this recipe. I got it from this book. It's by Marin Illustrated, and it's called Cooking Basics. And they do a lot of other stuff like um, bartending and guitar, math, yoga, fitness. They do lots of instructional books, and this is about cooking and baking. And it gives you names of kitchen tools, types of foods and spices, and all that stuff. And it has recipes in it too. And there's a chocolate chip cookie recipe that I love. I love making it because it's very simple and it's very easy and it doesn't really take long either. So I'm going to do that for you. You'll need 2 1/4 cup of flour, 2 eggs, 3/4 cup of sugar, 2 cups of chocolate chips, 2/3 cup of brown sugar, 2 sticks of butter, which equals a cup, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, half a teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda, but not powder, soda. Okay, and you'll also need anything to mix with. You can do this with your hand on a large bowl, but I'm using a KitchenAid. Parchment paper, a whisk, a rubber spatula, 2 smallish bowls for mixing, and some baking sheets. Now, here we go. Okay, I decided to roll up my sleeves and get an apron. This is like a bear's apron my brother made like a really, really long time ago. I'm not really a sports fan, but um, so I don't want you to think that when you see me wearing this today. But whatever. So before you start, make sure you preheat your oven to 375 degrees. And you take your bowl of flour, add in your baking soda, add all of it in, and your salt, and you're just gonna whisk it together. And then you don't really need to sift or anything. Sometimes you have to sift your flour, but you don't need to this time, so you're just gonna set this aside. You're gonna take your 2 eggs, you're just gonna put them in the bowl and whisk them together. And again, like the flour sifting, you don't have to do that. And this one, you don't have to separate the eggs or the egg whites. Sometimes you have to do that, and I don't like that when you have to do that because I don't. It's not easy for me, but it's okay this time to not separate the eggs or the egg whites. I don't even eat eggs. I don't really like them. I used to not really mind them. They were all right, but I really don't like them. Like scrambled eggs and fried eggs. I don't really make those. I just don't like them anymore. And here's a fun fact: before I stopped eating eggs, I've never ever had an omelet. Just a little, just a little factoid. I've never ever had an omelet, but let's continue. All right, so we have the egg mixer side. We're gonna get to that in a second. Now you have to melt your butter, and you need 2 sticks, and you wanna just to make it easier, so they'll melt quicker. I just cut it up into chunks, um, and then you're gonna put it in the microwave for a minute, so it's a liquid mixture. Okay, this has been in the microwave for about 60 seconds. And if there's like some still lumps in it or anything, you want to just stir it around to make it a little more liquidy. Now, this is where your large bowl will come in, and I'm using this one because it's attached to the KitchenAid and I just prefer to use it. So you're going to pour in your butter, pour in the melted butter, then add the sugar, brown sugar, and then the vanilla. Oh, that means that the oven is reach temperature, so it's preheated. So don't mind that noise. That's just the oven letting me know it's ready. Okay, when those sugars are mixed in, then you're gonna stir it on a medium speed until it's a brownish color. Then, I guess I can leave this running. Then pour in the egg mixture, the 2 eggs. Alright, I'm sorry I can't show you what this looks like inside, but you'll see it when I put it on the baking sheets to see what it's supposed to look like. Now, what you do next is, well, that's running. You take your flour mixture and I took like a large serving spoon just because it's large, and you just add it in a little bit at a time, and that'll make it more thick and easy to. Occasionally, this is where the rubber spatula comes in. You want to scrape it off the sides because flour is so light, so it kind of like flies around everywhere. And I have a confession to make. The recipe says to divide the flour into quarters, and then do 1/4 at a time, and then just to do it for the remaining 3/4. But I tried to do that. I don't know exactly how to really separate it, and then so I just do little bits at a time, just because it's easier. And I do make this all the time, so I always do it like this, and the cookies come out fine. So. Okay, now once the flour is on there, you're going to run it again, and this is where you add in your chocolate chips. Alright. Okay, now this is where the baking sheets and parchment paper come in, because this is where you roll out the cookies. Actually, you don't have to roll them out. It's not like sugar cookies. But just where you make either you can make them into a ball or just drop them in a little lump. But you want to make sure to get a little spoon. Get like a spoonful sized. Because you know what the song is, a spoonful of cookies helps the medicine go down. So, this is the second baking sheet now. The thing is, because there's so much cookie dough, you want to, well, what I usually do is I only do 2 baking sheets at a time. But you can, what I do is like when they're ready, I just set this aside, and then I use it for another batch when the others are cooling. And so now these and another sheet I already have prepared. These are ready to go into the oven, and remember it's 375, and you want to bake them for 9 to 12 minutes, and then let them cool and things like that too. Okay, and our cookies are done. They were in there for, I put them in for 9 minutes because I usually do, when they give you range, I usually do the lesser part. But they weren't quite like, anyway. They didn't look like they were ready, and I just put them in for an extra 2 minutes. And they came out. They're not bad. Some of them didn't. Some of them are a little less spirited because they're still rounded, like when I formed them into the dough, and even when putting them back in, they didn't flatten down. Yeah. So I made this recipe like a lot because it's a really easy recipe, and I don't like baking. I'm really not a baker. So here we have the chocolate chip cookies. Again, they're really easy to make. And I'm not a baker, And I don't often bake, but if I do, I usually make these cookies because they're so easy and they don't take long and they're really, really good and they're nice and chewy and things too. And I decided to get a little glass of milk, and as you can see, it's a Bears glass. It says NFL on the other side, but only because I was wearing that apron, and I like using this glass too. But I'm really not a Bears fan, and I do love the city of Chicago though. But I don't really um, follow the sports or anything. But regardless of that, just thought if you wanted to learn how to make a easy chocolate chip cookie recipe, then you have it, and I hope you make them. And um, also leave down there in the comments what other kind of cookies you like too, and so we can maybe discuss cookies. I don't know. All right, so don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next week.